Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good Discernment Assembly. We're pleased to have you here. My name is Mizon Leka-Evan, and I'm with the Cerebral Palsy Alberta, representing the disability sector. Our purpose this evening is to hear from our members, set priorities for our leaders, listen to each other, understand what our priorities are. At this time, we ask everyone to change their name so that it includes their institution. If you're not sure how to do that, please let us know in the chat. I would now like to welcome Reverend Aaron Casson, who will provide the land acknowledgement. Aaron?
Hi, I'm Erin Clausen. I'm from Scarborough United Church. In the spirit of respect, reciprocity, and truth, we honor that we are a part of Treaty 7, that we are on the traditional and present-day lands of the Blackfoot Confederacy, including the Siksika, the Kainai, and the Piikani. The Ayahe Nakota, including the Chiniki, Bears Paw, and Wesley First Nations, and the Tsuut'ina Nations. This area, which we call home, is also called Mohkinstsis. This place is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3 within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. This acknowledgement is a symbolic gesture and only a piece of our bigger work toward reconciliation. With these words, we are called to live into the treaty commitments. Within the Alliance, we can do this by wrestling with the truth of colonization, agitating for Indigenous liaison officers in the Calgary Police Service, and by continuing to build relationships.
Thank you very much for that, Erin. Now, as you are all going through and changing your names in order to make sure that we understand your institutions are, what they are, typically when we're together in person, we can actually see different tables, see where people are from, get to know a little bit about who belongs with where, but in the disambiguated square universe of Zoom, it's a lot harder to establish that sense of connection to where people are from. So changing your names helps with that, and it is not creepy at all to like cruise the list of participants and see who else is here for what institution, because it's actually fun to touch base. But because we can't actually walk around to different tables and see who's here, our group has prepared a roll call video to show everyone who we are sharing space with today, even if we can't quite see you on all the screens and see you on the blocks. So if Vincent, you could take a crack at that, that would be great.
Hello, I'm Catherine Heimbigner-Tenner, and I'm one of approximately 25 members of Calgarians for the Common Good. We're a group of diverse, passionate people that believe by working together we can accomplish far more than working separately, and as such, we are proud members of the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good.
My name is Germay Waldo, and I'm the president of the Eritrean Canadian Community Association in Calgary. We do have members more than 3,000, and we are looking forward to work with the Alliance because the reason that we want to join the Alliance is we want to contribute as a community to a tolerant and a compassionate city that we all can be proud of. And I'm looking forward to work with you soon. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Erin Bird. I'm a member of Engineers Without Borders Calgary Professional Chapter, and I lead the Fairtrade Calgary Venture. Engineers Without Borders is a member of Calgary Alliance for the Common Good, and the reason behind that is we support initiatives such as the eradication of poverty, truth and reconciliation, and trying to find ways to mitigate and reduce climate change.
I am John Griffith, representing 500 people from Hillhurst United Church. Our lead minister says informed and faithful people live with the Bible in one hand and the newspaper in the other. The Calgary Alliance helps us live out our core values of hospitality, spirituality, social justice, and risk in helping Calgary be a more compassionate and just city.
Hi, my name is Ron Bing. I'm the founder, together with my wife Judy, of Temple B'nai Tikva, a Reform Jewish synagogue located in Britannia, Calgary. We are a strong supporter of the Alliance for the Common Good and one of its founding members.
Hi, I'm Pam Rickey. I represent Calgary Unitarians. We're a founding member of the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good, and we leverage our social justice work through this effective community building organization. We're proud to be a member. We bring 150 people in our membership.
Hello everyone, my name is Jolene Smith and I am the Director of Campus Ministry at St. Mary's University. I represent approximately 1,000 students, staff, and faculty. Being a member of the Alliance is important to us as we try to make our city and our communities an even better place to be.
I'm Doug Chandler, representing the 300 members of Knox United Church. Knox strives to be a place where individuals in our downtown community can make connections with each other, with themselves, and with creation. We hope Calgary can be that kind of place too.
My name is Christine McFarlane. I represent Ambrose University, a community of 1,000 students, faculty, and staff.
Hello, I'm from the Anatolian Turkish Islamic Center of Calgary, and we are part of Calgary Alliance with more than 200 members.
Hi, I'm Joan Lawrence. I'm co-chair of the Calgary Climate Hub. We represent 175 people and organizations.
My name is Mizon Leka Evan, and I'm with the Cerebral Palsy Alberta. Our organization services the disability sector. My hope for our city, the city of Calgary, is to be more inclusive and to be accepting of citizens of all abilities.
Hi, my name is Dustin Withers. I'm the reporting secretary for the Canadian Union of Public Employees, Local 37, City of Calgary Outside Workers.
Hi, my name is Darcy Lanavaz, and I'm the president of CUPE Local 38, and we represent over 5,000 workers at the City of Calgary and Max and the Parking Authority. My hope for Calgary is that we can build a world-class city that provides opportunities for all Calgarians.
Hi, I'm Bob Hawksworth, representing Good Shepherd Moravian Church. Our congregation of over 100 have been members of the Calgary Alliance for the past 4 years.
I am the Reverend Dr. Jane Rowland. I represent St. Lawrence Anglican Church here in Calgary. Our commitment to the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good is long-standing, and it is deeply rooted in our faith, in our care and compassion for all God's creation, and in our longing for justice to reign on earth.
Hi, my name is Mike Mahar. I'm president of the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 583 Calgary. We have 3,800 active and retired members, all citizens of the City of Calgary, and we are a proud member of Calgary Alliance for the Common Good.
Hello, I'm Karen Cavanaugh. I'm representing about 500 people from St. Thomas United Church. We are very proud to be a part of the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good, as we believe it is the most effective way of creating a city that is just and compassionate for all, truly taking care of the seniors, Indigenous people, youth, and the most vulnerable.
Good evening, my name is Brenda Wallace, and I represent St. David's United Church as Chair of Council. Our council covers the cost of our membership to Calgary Alliance for the Common Good. We are some 350 families who worship near the university here in Calgary.
Well, my name is Archbishop Greg Kerr-Wilson. I am the Archbishop of the Anglican Diocese of Calgary, representing about 10,000 Anglicans in Calgary and across southern Alberta. We are pleased to be founding members of the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good.
Hi, I'm Erin Clausen, minister at Scarborough United Church. We represent about 200 folks, and we participate in the Alliance because our faith calls us to act for the best for everyone and justice for all.
Hi, I'm Elsa G., the president of CUPE Local 1169, representing Calgary and Cochrane Public Library workers. We have up to 720 members.
Hello everyone, I'm Larry Kochendorfer. I serve as the Bishop of the Synod of Alberta and the Territories of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Canada. I represent 12 congregations in Calgary, which has over 4,000 individual members. We are pleased to be part of the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good, and appreciate very much our work together on behalf of the city and of the citizens of Calgary.
Hi, my name is Phil Hulk, pastor of Lutheran Church of the Cross in Southwest Calgary. We have about 350 members, and we're proud to be a founding member of the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good and to work to support and help the average citizens of Calgary, especially those that are most vulnerable, and to work toward reconciliation.
Hi, I'm Bruce Payne. I'm with the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America, Local 2103 in Calgary, Alberta. We have about 1,800 members currently in our union, and we participate with and support the Calgary Alliance for the Common Good and have done so for many years, since the very beginning.
Hi, I'm Vicki McPhee.
And I'm David Ward.
And we're members of Simons Valley United Church. And we have a membership of about 180 people.
Thanks for putting that together, Vincent. So I'm Catherine Heimbigner-Tenner and one of the co-chairs of the Mental Health Research Action Team. And now I'd like to just walk you through what we heard. Our listening campaign focused on 3 very broad topics that touch each of us on a daily basis: mental health, the environment, and if you live in Calgary, the City of Calgary budget. And as such, we have several themes within each area. So within mental health, we heard concerns about resources, including access to timely, appropriate, and affordable counseling, system navigation, and funding levels. Our members are also concerned about the opioid epidemic in our province, including space for treatment and safe injection sites. We're also concerned about first responders providing culturally appropriate and trauma-informed responses. And we recognize that community is a source of strength. And so we would like to see more peer and community supports, but we're also a very diverse group. And so we need to ensure that we involve all stakeholders crossing cultural and religious barriers to build trust and understanding in the mental health area. We also need to take a holistic approach to mental health and wellness. This includes things like food security, educational supports, and others. If you're hungry, it's difficult to address mental health challenges. We also heard concerns about our family's mental wellness. Our members would like to see school-based supports for K through 12, support for teachers and families through a variety of community and school-based supports. And then on the other end of the spectrum, they would like to see support for our elders through seniors programs and work to reducing loneliness and isolation. When we move to the environment, we heard people want support in making better green choices. That might be recycling, retrofitting homes, and higher new build standards for public and private use. And we want plans to retrofit existing buildings. We also want to see less sprawl, improved accessible green spaces, and greener public buildings. We want action on pollution reduction, which may include things like air pollution, single-use plastics, or water pollution. Moving past water pollution, people are concerned about our water supply, water runoff, and the ever-increasing droughts and floods. When we talk about climate, people also want to talk about energy. How do we shift to renewables? How do we electrify everything? How do we ensure MX goes to net zero? How do we build a better electric car infrastructure? We also, while we're doing this, want to keep and create good quality jobs. We want a just transition that includes equity and dignity for all. Finally, within the environmental area, transportation was a major concern. We need to have better planning and infrastructure to encourage other modes of transportation, such as biking and walking. And transit needs to be accessible, affordable, and frequent to increase ridership and decrease dependency on our cars. So moving into the city budget discussion, transportation came up again. Concerns there were about transit accessibility, cost, frequency, and safety. There's also challenges around Access Calgary. And citizens want to see more bike and pathway development, and they want to hear how the city can help with that electric car infrastructure. Then tying back to both mental health and the environment, there was considerable discussion around community spaces, such as community halls, an Indigenous gathering place, libraries, recreation facilities. These spaces needed to be barrier-free, safe, and supported by the city through programming and services such as community social workers. We also heard a lot about affordable housing. There was calls for a larger budget to house the diverse population of our vulnerable citizens, including people such as the homeless, seniors, and the disabled. We not only need more affordable housing, though, we need it to be built green and we need it properly maintained. Then moving on to the Calgary Police Service. People want to see action on the increased violence in our city, elder fraud concerns, property crime, and violent demonstrations. They also want us to see transformation take place in the Calgary Police Service. They want action on racism, they want community-based policing, and working with mental health and other professionals. Finally, there's a tension between how we pay for these things and our rising property taxes and all the delivery of city services that we just listed. For instance, a number of people requested better snow removal for accessibility reasons, but that comes at a cost. Moving past the three main areas, there is also a lot of support for our elder-led truth and reconciliation and to continue to strengthen our member organizations through core teams. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Catherine, and thank you to the many, many, many among you who are here tonight, who spent the hours planning how to come together, listening to each other, taking down responses, and recording the submissions and providing them to us to actually compile together and share with you tonight. So the big part of that listening campaign has already taken place, but of course tonight is the time when we actually come together and make sure that when we're in community, we're finishing that piece of listening and everyone has a chance to continue to contribute and hear perhaps what you haven't yet heard from other institutions that have been doing the listening work for the past few months. So we're going to break into our first small group sessions for the night. We asked you to look at climate change, the budget, and mental health, and we're going to keep you into those groups. So the first thing that we'd like you to do is join a small group, and you can pick whichever one you want. If you are here in a team, try to have the members of your team and your institution go into separate topic areas because you're going to come back together into a second institutional breakout for the voting portion of our discernment that we've all done before through Zoom and are becoming used to. So for this one, spread out a little bit, go into the topic area that interests you. Each room is going to have a facilitator, and when new participants come into the room, they're going to summarize what's been heard so far. Because we're doing it in this style, and you are allowed to switch rooms if you personally have an interest in more than one thing, we'll throw a couple of reminders about the time, what time we're at. If you do want to switch rooms, go right ahead. The facilitator will welcome you in and you can continue. And we will come back together after 20 minutes to talk about what each of us heard in those small groups.
So I'm going to open up the rooms now. You will see a prompt to join a room. You'll see various names associated after the name. So you'll see mental health Elizabeth. So just click join just underneath that. Say if you want to chat with Elizabeth's group on the subject of mental health.
And of course, your topic will range, but we do have 2 guided questions to help start us off, referencing what Catherine just presented about the submissions. Ryan has thrown those into the chat, and your facilitators will guide you to those questions as well. Thank you and have a good chat.
So for some folks, it might be at the bottom of the screen, breakout rooms. All you need to do is click on that. Also, if you're struggling with the user interface, just pop it into chat which room you'd like to join. Say if you want to chat about mental health, the budget, or the environment, and I can just move you right over. We are trying to get roughly 5 people per room though. So if you see a spot where there's like 10 people in a room, well, skip that one. Go to the, the next room, say. But we have some great,
Vincent,
go for it.
Where we should see those rooms? I can't see anything. Me neither.
Oh, so you should see a breakout room button.
Oh, I
If you,
see now.
yeah.
I don't see anything either.
So
It's on the top.
So Patricia, do you have like a more button at the bottom, say? And
I
if you
found
click
it.
Perfect.
Which bottom you said? Oh,
Yeah, more in the
breakout.
bottom right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to hit pause for the moment for the recording. Yeah. So those folks are beginning to filter back in.
All right, just give me sound.
And there we go.
Terrific. Welcome back, everyone. I'll now call in some facilitators to share what stood out for you during your conversations. And so, Renee, can we start with you, please, on environment?
Yeah, so overwhelmingly in the room that I was in, we heard about transit and transportation. So affordable, accessible, flexible transit. And a couple folks brought up the point that having user pay transit doesn't make sense. We don't pay per use on the roads. We don't pay per use on, having a fire put out. We don't pay per use on most other municipal services that we access. And so there is an opportunity there to reduce the user fees and make transit more accessible. And along with that is de-incentivizing car use. So make transit more accessible, make driving your car a little bit less accessible. And the other really strong theme was around green spaces and trees and really greening our city. And I will end it at that and pass it to Elizabeth.
I guess I got muted when I came back into the big room. I would say with mental health, most of the things that we heard Catherine talk about got mentioned. There was a lot of talk about seniors. There was a lot of talk about adolescents. People found that with their own, through COVID, they really did have issues within their own families and own communities. One person actually had a positive experience when they had to contact 811 because it was one number. They phoned 811 and they were able to deal with the particular issue they had. So accessibility is something else that's important. One of the other more interesting things that we heard about was the fact that within Calgary, there are over 200 ethnicities. And these people face all kinds of barriers to getting mental health. And there's a need for cultural awareness. One size won't fit all as we develop these kinds of programs. So the challenges within mental health are huge. But anyway, there's hope. And we did get reinforcement for what we've heard from other people. And I guess I pass it on
to me.
To you, Erin. Okay.
So we were discussing the city budget. Two of the main things that really came up were affordable housing and affordable housing as a system that affects a lot of other things around it, just security, mental health, that sort of thing. And also transportation, the need for accessible, easily accessible and well-organized transit as a way of addressing environmental issues, but also isolation issues and barriers for folks. The other things that we kind of discussed were social supports and integration for folks who are isolated. We did get into a bit around resources and how we find those things. And we also discussed a bit about our concern with the broken promises around Indigenous liaison officers. And so that was a thing that is frustrating for us and we want to continue to work on. And I believe that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Erin. All right, Christine, I think you're up to explain the voting process.
We're ticking right along. In fact, we are a little bit ahead of schedule, which is lovely. Okay. So the next part of what we're going to do now that we've sat together in mixed groups is to go into conversations with our institutions. And when we go into those conversations, we'll be in small breakout groups based on your teams. And the first thing you're going to do when you get there is appoint one person to vote on behalf. Ax, please, you can't do that while I'm speaking, okay? Okay, hold on a sec. So you have to appoint one person to vote on behalf of your institution, because when we come out of the breakout, we have a bit of a messy and chaotic board, a jam board, where you're going to take the priorities, you're going to mark the priorities of your institution by moving the sticky notes from one part of the jam board to the other and labeling them. So you need one person that wants to run the jam board and be able to just type in and use that jam board. The second thing you do, I see there's a slide spotlighted explaining all this too. And we will show you the jam board when we come onto the session, so you have a good sense of where you're located, but you will slide green stickies over to the main topic area and the subtopic within that area that you were discussing in your institution is the thing that really animates you and gives you the most energy and interest. So you have 3 identifying your top priorities. You have 3 stickies identifying things that you support, but you just can't make it your top priority. And we all have lots of those that came up in our small group as well. Thank you for pulling that up. So those are the 3 green ones. You have 3 blue ones. And of course, every institution has a single reserve pink sticky that is like an all-encompassing, it's like a veto card, but it's meant to be a very, very serious no. We spoke as an institution. If the Alliance tackles this issue in this subtopic, we will consider leaving the Alliance because of our membership will consider leaving. So when you break into that institution, have a conversation about those things as well, the things you think, you know you're going to be challenged by in your institutions. If you don't have to use the pink sticky. If you're okay with these things, just know that it's in reserve and you can put a flag on for the things that the members of your institution are going to have grave and deep concerns with, and it's going to challenge your membership in the Alliance. If you do end up in a pink sticky territory, drop out of your group meeting or message Ryan very quickly so that we can address it. And Ina, okay, the other piece, thank you for that chat, Ina. So Ina, since you can't do sticky notes from your phone, and there may be some of you who can't do as well, we're gonna help you facilitate. Either put your hand up using the participants tab or put a note into chat, and our facilitators will circle around to you and help you label your stickies and use them. I'll put you into the groups now to have your discussion, but whoever comes out of that having to use the jam board, we'll do a quick tutorial as well on how to generate a sticky and then place it on the board. But with that as a bit of a primer to start you with what you're thinking about. That's the task at hand when you go into your institutions. Now, with that little procedural part out of the way, substantively, when you get together and you convene, share with each other, what did people learn from their conversations in different groups? And based on your interests in your organization, ask each other, what do you want to prioritize as the focuses of the Alliance as a whole, not simply your institution, but the Alliance as a whole? What should we put first? And then, before you run out of time, decide how you want to vote on each color and give the instructions to the person doing so. I think I have spoken out loud all of the notes I have to try to guide you through that process. And it's time to ask Vincent if he can open those rooms up and get people organized into them.
Christine, how long do we have? How long do we have?
I think we have 24 minutes, but let me check. We have 20 minutes.
Excellent. So with 20 minutes set for it, people will be able to choose their rooms. I've created an assortment of almost alphabetical rooms. So some folks might be a little out of order. But I will now open all the rooms now. If you find yourself in a room by yourself, feel free to come back to the main session or join one of the round tables closer to the bottom of the list or the guest room at the top. And I'll also hit pause.
Affordable housing and policing. For mental health, it was kind of culturally appropriate and trauma-informed mental health care, as well as community-based programs and stigma. I believe we missed addictions in there, so addictions as well. For environment, it was again transportation and energy, with a particular emphasis on justice and equity in that. I mean, it's a pretty broad base of interests, but those feel like something that we can do those feel like something you can go forward with and dig into. Some nods, some thumbs up, not seeing any like no. So thanks, friends. Are there any? Ronald, were you booing?
No, you asked for a woo. I was giving you a woo.
Okay, thanks. A woo is better than a boo. Any last? Oh, Penny's asking why transportation in two areas, because that's it. Transportation covers a lot. On one side, under the city budget, it covers accessibility and infrastructure, and that also impacts the environment, the way we are transported, and our access to transit, it has an environmental impact too. So I'm kind of excited about that one. It's one we can kind of double down on. So, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll send it to Ryan for our announcements.
Great, everyone. So first of all, just to double check. So are people if everyone could give like a thumbs up or a thumbs down or no with the reactions, just so we can actually get a sense. Do you think this actually reflects what the team said? I know we had some woos and everything and some head nods, but there you go. Any concerns? So is any concerns, do a thumb down. Speed up. Great.
I want to be sure that we're ready for summer and that our emergency services are able to deal with that. It's not clear to me if that's covered under justice and equity or not. If it is, great. Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah, that's a little bit about the so the mitigation, which wasn't a huge priority actually, but so we'll look at that. But now just sort of going forward. So thank you for that minute as I began to actually find my slides that I needed. So give me 1 second here. I was a little bit distracted.
Do you want me to tell a joke while you do that, Ryan?
Oh, there you go. I was hoping I would have enough time with some thumbs up, but so it's really important for us to actually not just like sort of discern, okay, where are we hearing and where do we need to go? We also want to really think about how we move into action. And one of those areas that we are already moving into action with is actually around the climate strategy that the city has. And so I just want to call up our new climate organizer, Renee, so that she can actually just tell us a little bit about the plan for how we're taking action on climate in the next couple of months next couple of days, actually, the next couple week or two. And she can tell you some more details. Renee?
Thanks, Ryan. So a few of us who are on this call spent the afternoon at City Hall today at the Community Development Committee meeting, where the Community Development Committee presented the climate strategy to Council with a recommendation that it be adopted. And following that, it will go to Council next Tuesday on June 7th, and we would love your support in a showing of support to City Council for the climate strategy. So we will be outside City Hall at 12:30 next Tuesday, June 7th. And I will have green scarves and masks. And this is just an opportunity to show up and let council know that we are here, we are watching. This is step one. The climate strategy is a great starting point. And then it needs action and funding behind it to actually make it happen. So that's number one. And then we will also be in the next couple of days putting out a letter writing campaign. So based on the outcomes of tonight's discussion, we will have a letter writing campaign going to City Council and the mayor. So watch for that. There will be an email and the information will be on the website by Thursday at the latest.
Great, thank you so much. The second thing is that one of the key parts of our work is actually training people how to be effective public leaders and also to gain some of the skills that community organizing teaches. So in terms of how they can strengthen their own organizations and their communities as well. And we do that through what's called the Foundations of Community Organizing, which is where we teach the sort of the key core practices of industrial areas, foundation style organizing, as well as the philosophy that's really been learned over almost this 80-year history. So sort of the key nuggets of wisdom that they've learned that they realize that need to be shared. And so that is also the foundation of how we work together. So we encourage everyone, if you haven't already, to attend our foundations training. It's Friday, June 10th, 7 to 9, and June 11th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Register at the link there. You can go onto our website underneath events to register. We have to decide whether we go ahead with it or not by Friday, and also to put in our catering order by Friday. So we ask everyone to sign up by this Friday. And also, if there's anyone from your institution who you think, they would have an interest in this, to please encourage them to also sign up as well too, and to participate in it. Or the best thing to do is bring a group from your organization. And once again, that is Friday, June 10th, 7 to 9, and June 11th, 9 to 4. And we hope you can join us. And give me 1 second here. And then Maison, are you wanting me to do the quick wrap up, or do you want to do that?
I can do it, Ryan.
Great. Oh, yeah.
There was a question about, was the training in person?
Yes. So we are wanting to actually shift back to in-person for our training and for many events. As you've discovered with Jamboard and stuff, it's really hard to do our work online. And also so much of the training is about interpersonal interaction. So we're going to begin our shift back to more in-person work with actually having this training in person at St. Mary's University. And yes, it's 2 days. So it's Friday evening and all day Saturday.
Or feel free to reach out. Yes, feel free to reach out to Ryan or the Alliance if you've got any questions about the training. We're going to give you back 3 minutes of your time as a gift. Thank you all for attending tonight, for your energy, your participation, your commitment. We covered a lot of ground today, this evening, on transportation, cultural sense training, trauma-informed, and we watch for all the amazing things the Alliance is going to do to ensure that Calgary is an inclusive, engaging, and a thriving community. So on behalf of everyone here, thank you and good evening.
Thank you to all the organizers for doing this tonight. Fantastic.
Well,
Great, want to join the room.